Hi, I'd like to share with you some ideas that I have about teaching and learning in two areas. One, visual arts, and two, commerce. Specifically, I'd like to talk about the general capabilities and implementing the tools of information and communication technology in the classroom. Some of the ideas that I share with you will be no-brainers, and others I hope will make you think. First, I'd like to talk about art and commerce. You might be thinking, that's an interesting combination. I get that a lot. For me, art comes first. You see, to me, everything is related to art. As artists, we find order in chaos. We explore and discover rhythm and beauty. We create, we express our thoughts and our ideas. We hone our skills of perception and interpretation. And we share our ideas and our discoveries with those around us who will listen. And as students of commerce, we equip ourselves with tools, skills and knowledge to survive in this world. We find our place in the global setting. We gain insights into law and politics. We work towards employment and realize our identity as consumers and decision makers. Why am I telling you all of this? By way of introduction, you see, we are all students now of the 21st century. And what does this mean? Stick with me for the next 5 minutes while I try to explain what it means to be a teacher in the 21st century and 2017. I'm going to talk to you about three main things. 1. 21st century learning and the quality teaching framework. 2. The general capabilities. And 3. Implementing the tools of ICT in your classroom. Then we're going to relate all of this to teaching visual arts and teaching commerce. 21st century learning and the quality teaching framework. The Department of Education's 21st century teaching and learning policy has put the emphasis on developing skills to meet the 4 C's. Collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication. Collaboration is the ability to work in teams, working towards common goals in diverse teams. That could mean working with people of different abilities, different beliefs, and/or different cultures. Collaboration is the acquired skill of compromise and personal responsibility. Critical thinking is the ability to reason effectively, using inductive and deductive methods, including systems thinking and how elements of a hypothesis or argument fit together and interact as a whole. And it's about making decisions and judgments by considering the evidence of arguments and examining other points of view. It's about interpreting information and relating learnt experiences to solve problems in innovative ways. Creativity is the ability to innovate and ideate new ways to address old and new problems. This could be radical new ideas or subtle adjustments to existing hypotheses. It also includes the ability to communicate these ideas to other people. Creativity is about openness and being receptive to things that we might not yet understand. And creativity requires action, putting those ideas into practice. Communication, listening and speaking, writing and creating visual representations. We need to be able to express ideas and thoughts in a variety of ways. Understanding the different reasons for communication, to share ideas, to seek understanding, learning, to nurture and care, to motivate and encourage. This brings me to my next point, the general capabilities. The Boster's general capabilities were developed in line with the 21st century quality teaching framework, and the core components are critical and creative thinking, which we've already talked about, ethical understanding, which involves developing an understanding of our rights and responsibilities as individuals and in a group setting, We encourage students to question the consequences of their actions for themselves and for others. Information and communication technology. I'll get to this in more detail momentarily. Intercultural understanding. The three main elements are recognizing culture and developing respect, interacting and empathizing with others, and reflecting on intercultural experiences and taking responsibility. Literacy. Literacy incorporates the learning and ability in language to read, write, talk, understand and communicate to society. It is comprised of 4 areas of knowledge and 2 processes. The processes are comprehension of text and visual information, and the creation of text and visual information. And the 4 areas of knowledge are grammar knowledge, text knowledge, word knowledge, and visual knowledge. Numeracy. By teaching students to use mathematics more broadly in the wider context of their everyday lives, students have the chance to use mathematics as a transferable skill that is applicable outside the classroom, as well as across disciplines. Personal and social capability. By understanding where we fit into society, into our relationships, at work and at school, we can affect change, build on our strengths, and challenge our weaknesses to better ourselves. Students will learn about mental health, spiritual health, and physical health. In so doing, students can embrace a broad range of life skills that will help them manage their own well-being. This brings me to my main point. In the 21st century classroom, we are no longer solely focused on the abstract notion of academic achievement for its own sake. Current pedagogical thinking embraces a whole-of-life approach, and the ICT in the recent past has left the current curriculum in its wake. We are playing a game of catch-up. The key ideas for ICT capability are organised into 5 areas that consist of 3 core disciplines and 2 overarching principles. The 2 principles are 1. Applying social, ethical protocols and practices when using ICT. This involves students acquiring an understanding of the best practices in ICT and can include information about IP, intellectual property, both as creators of new content and as users of what's already out there. It involves using passwords and digital security to protect their own intellectual property, to protect their financial records, to guard their social media accounts and their communication tools. This principle also relates to the broader implications of ICT in the world stage. Were you aware that LinkedIn is still banned in Russia? The second of the principles is managing and operating ICT. This is more technical and deepens the knowledge of broader computer technologies. It includes data management, whether that's using cloud storage services, establishing an online backup routine, as well as using physical hard drives and portable storage devices. In this skill set, we learn about various hardware and software, different operating systems, and explore a variety of devices. And the 3 disciplines are 1. Investigating with ICT. By delving deeper into web searches, identifying sources and learning to validate the legitimacy of the information that we find using various search engines. 2. Creating with ICT. Learning to use ICT to facilitate the creative potential, using ICT as a project management and exploration tool. And 3. Communicating with ICT. Understanding the scope of communication solutions available. Blogs, emails, video calls, social media apps, message boards, and learning about the risks and rewards associated with the different options. So how do these elements relate to visual arts and commerce? Well, applying social and ethical protocols and practices applies to both visual arts and commerce pretty much equally, although some elements will be applied differently. For example, in the visual arts there will be a lot of exposure to the copyright of images that are used as source material for inspiration, and images that are created by the students that may then be shared online. Students will learn how source images that they can legally produce and adapt. They will learn how to protect their own artwork if they choose to publish it in an online space. For the commerce students, the issues of intellectual property will also be relevant, but they may also be more aware of the impacts of ICT on society at large, and how those changes and differences affect the world economy or cross-cultural business arrangements. In managing and operating ICT, visual arts students, as they move into their senior years and beyond, may get involved in digital art. But even in their junior years, developing skills in project management of their art projects and assignments using online systems and programs like Google Docs and Google Drive will equip them with the skills that are transferable across a multiple of disciplines. For the commerce students, the same skills and knowledge acquired will equally see them get a foothold in the digital space. And perhaps even more so, as their field of work will be more data-driven than that of an artist. In investigating using ICT, both art students and commerce students will benefit from best practices in digital research. When writing essays and sorting references, for the artists it will be an especially valuable visual tool, as there are literally billions of images and as resources available online. And the commerce students will be able to access copious amounts of data relating to law, business and economics. And in creating and communicating with ICT, we'll use technology in the classroom to expand students' access to help and learning. We'll save time communicating, organise activities and build interactive lessons. There will be collaborative online group work, online meetings and videos, as well as portfolios of students' work, all available using ICT. We live in exciting times. It's an exciting time to be a student and an exciting time to be a teacher. The digital age is hitting its stride and gaining momentum. We are on the forefront now of great leaps forward in innovation and change, and I look forward to sharing more with you as the situation develops.